So let's get on to the Daniel Larson stuff. So this Daniel Larson situation has been rather crazy. The video I'm looking at is up here for two reasons. One, take a look at it so you can see like all the manipulation going on with Daniel Larson. He's been being controlled by managers and whatnot to do things, and he's like, it's pretty messed up. But two is to address a lot of the rumors, like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Really more to take a look at the comments and a couple of things, like an update. Now, now apparently Daniel Larson is on a train, or he's on a plane, and he's back home now. Now, I can't confirm that. What I do find a little questionable is that there's this video here that after I made this video here was made as like, you guys, his managers who seem to be manipulating him behind the scenes, they need to ensure that he gets back home because he decided to travel to LA based on the encouragement of his managers. Now, apparently he got back home, but after that, all of a sudden, a bunch of new narratives are popping up that he's on his way back home, this, that, and the other thing.
Man.
One of the things that was posted here was him on a train back home to Denver. Now, that's a little sus to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Because then Daniel Larson was seen at an airport flying back home, and that was the new narrative. So it's weird to me that they said that he was getting back home on a train immediately after, but then he took a plane home. And so the reason why that's like, that just reinforces the narrative that his managers have control of his accounts, because that's one of the things. Apparently his managers had control of his accounts and they would post stuff. He would send them things and then they would post it, which explains a lot of the explicit things like humping the floor and going, oh, Darcy, that kind of stuff. And it explains this. This is probably a video of him heading to LA, which he only got as far as Oakland, apparently. And then they sent it to him, and they just like held on to it. And they're like, "Oh, he's on his way back," because they were scared. Right? Because I told them that if they don't send him back, I'm gonna contact the authorities. Apparently, a lot of their accounts are gone. What I find one interesting thing is we go through these comments that apparently Daniel Larson left on my page. He talks about how these accounts have been banned that I was referencing. None of them were banned. They were all removed, which just kind of shows me that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But let's get into it. This is a new account. We'll check that out afterwards. This is an unavailable video because you can't take a look at it. Apparently, that's an account controlled by Flexburger. That was him just upset. Anyway, we'll look at this in order. This is from yesterday. So we're going to start going through it. Now, here's something interesting to note. As you read these, you'll notice that a lot of them are pretty well articulated. It looks like somebody like typed out the message. Now, that sounds like a weird thing to say, but if you look at Daniel Larson's old TikToks, he couldn't construct a sentence for his life. He would spell almost every word incorrectly. It was terrible. And all of a sudden, though, these are pretty articulate. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, again, one of the narratives was like, hey, his managers had control over his shit. He had control over his accounts. Well, if the managers did have control over his accounts, that means that, well, what it means to me is they were intentionally making his titles make it seem like he can't construct a sentence. But then in here, this may actually be the real Daniel Larson posting, but he actually has the ability to speak fairly, like, reasonably, or type out pretty well. Either that, or Daniel Larson was the one making the original TikToks, and this is one of the managers trying to do damage control posing as Daniel Larson. So this is either Daniel Larson or a manager. That's the best assumption. So here's what it says. Flexburger and Jay, we do not know. I already know that's true. Jay reached out to me. He was very apologetic about the whole situation. The posting is not true. I am the one posting on this account. I don't know. The Grace Vanderwall and Darcy thing is not true. I don't even know what he's referring to. There are no accounts we are in contact with. The young girls thing is all the media, right? The media being one of his managers, like, and making it seem worse than it is. Although it seems like some of it is also the responsibility of Daniel. We don't know Combotter. What's interesting, I believe Combotter was the person. So the Daniel Larson News account gave me Daniel Larson's phone number, and I texted Daniel Larson, and the first thing he said to me is like, "Oh, if you got this from Daniel Larson News, it's incorrect information. He's just a troll, and he tried to make me look bad." So, yeah, just throwing that out there. I don't remember if that's Combotter or if Combotter is Flexburger. This is not fully true. They did not have my information. As far as everything goes, it's only up to me confidentially. I do not want a public to you. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's not speaking so well. And then also, it says com butter, but I think he meant to say combatter. Is probably an autocorrect. Is also a hacker, and he's hacked into our account. So he says they don't know a combatter here, but then he says he knows who combatter is, and he's hacked to our account. So that's why the information he has, and he's came up a lot of it on his own. Jay actually has been fired from our label. So now, so originally he said that Flexburger and Jay, we don't know, but Jay has actually been fired from our label for violating the rules, and he's no longer able to work with us because he tried to hack our accounts when he was on our team, so we fired him for it. It was my idea to move to California, but I still also beat up Colorado. I have 2 houses currently. Yeah, no, so there's the thing, and I'm pretty concerned. This isn't as articulate as I thought it was. Jesus Christ. It is weird. Here's the thing. When I say they manipulated him to go to California, it doesn't need to be an act of you should really go. It's one of those passive like trolls where you encourage the behavior where he thinks that he's actually a famous whatever, a singer or whatever. He's not. And then you suggest to him, oh, you should go to LA because that's where people go to be famous. Why else would he go to LA? People go to LA to boost themselves. They walk around the street. There's paparazzi. That's where you go. It's like the epicenter of fame. And so it wouldn't be a difficult suggestion. Of course, you can get Daniel Larson to say, I'm the reason I went to LA when it's not true. So as far as the caregivers, that they are aware of the situation, but they're also stuck in the middle of it, getting the blame for me moving out to California as well. I moved to California to get a house. What? And also to do some other business work there. It was not because of the label at all. Please stop involving the label. You don't know any of the information. I think that we can all ascertain the information pretty well. Hello, hi, hey. If you want more information, you can contact me. Yes number. I will put it in the comments. Why would you put your phone number in there? And you can get the information from this number, but we won't be able to get the information on the label because the label's not involved in this. But if you want information directly from me, I will give you the information. Okay. That is not fully true. I was never fully homeless. Okay, you kind of were. I got onto Amtrak. It was a 1.5 day trip, basically a 60-hour ride. 60 hours isn't 1.5 days. That's like 2.5 days. San Francisco, once I got there, everything was fine. The actual situation with my debit card got declined because somebody hacked into my debit card. So that's weird. So first of all, somebody hacked into your debit card. That just reinforces the narrative that people had control over your banking information. Also keep in mind that his managers disappeared while he was in LA. They stopped communicating with him. Okay? That's very important to understand. Or maybe it's because he went from a different state to another state, and sometimes they lock your debit card. People are saying in the chat, it seems like Flexburger. I wouldn't doubt it. This isn't as articulate as I thought it was, so I wouldn't doubt that this is all controlled by one of his managers. The person who hacked into my debit card supposedly was at San Francisco International Airport. I was not at the location, so they blocked my card, which means I didn't have the money to get back to Denver, Colorado. That's an interesting thing to say because somebody was at the airport filming Daniel Larson. The video's gone. I can't find it. But I did do a video on that video. So you can... Yeah. So guys... I'm going to mute myself. But this is somebody filming Daniel Larson at the airport. So... if he actually had his card used at the you understand what I'm saying? At the airport, it's possible that person might have used it. I was only in California for about 5 days. Yes, and he only came back because I made my video. The only reason I made that video saying that I quit all my services was for safety, and the location situation was also for safety. So I want to get spotted in San Francisco. What? I was also spotted in San Francisco within 20 minutes of me getting off the train, and I was also spotted at Oakland International Airport when I was at Oakland. I have access to my Cash App. That is not true. I would ask you to stop making videos under my name. If you keep making videos under my name, I will end up suing you. The entire meltdown was not encouraged. That was mainly because of the debit card. I didn't know what to do. My record label does not have access to my debit cards or credit cards. That is not true. I'm the only one who has access. I have access to all my accounts of information, all the accounts of information. I have access to. That is not true. I wonder if he's watching it and he's just making comments as he's watching it. This is not true. As if I'm going to know what the fuck he's talking about. That is not true. We know who those people are, and we're not in contact with those people, as everything else goes with the Dave and Grace situation, including Darcy. They are currently not following me for their own safety, because we knew if they did follow us, the situation will grow the same thing that you're already covering. They don't want covering them. Okay, so this is what he's saying here. Is Daniel Larson is like, yeah, I'm in contact with Darcy Lane and Grace Vanderwall, but they don't follow me publicly because then it would make them look bad and there would be news coverage. This is objective proof here that his managers are like manipulating him to think that Darcy Lane and Grace Vanderwall would actually be in contact with him. I'm not trying to be rude, but they don't want to talk to you, Daniel, at all. They don't like you, okay? So your managers also know this. So if they were trolls that weren't them, they'd say, Daniel, that's not really Grace or Darcy, which leads us to believe that they're the ones controlling these accounts. Hello, there's been a whole bunch of leaked information that we have been hacked. And what does hacked mean to Daniel? And we have had the information from the hackers that I've leaked onto the internet, but it's not us directly. It goes back to when I first pulled out my phone number. When I pulled out my phone number, everyone was calling me and the situation only grew. So, like, based on right now, I wouldn't doubt that Daniel Larson has control of his accounts, but then also his managers have control of his accounts. As far as the video saying the label and everyone that I haven't heard from you in a couple days, that was actually to raise money for the situation of me being homeless. They thought making it more dramatic would actually help bring in more money. So Daniel Larson's trying to tell us that he had contact with his managers, but he was only saying that because they all thought he would make more money. That makes no sense. But it gets worse because he actually admits that he doesn't have full control over his Cash App soon. Label was only trying to help make more money as fast as possible to actually get me back to Colorado. But yes, that doesn't make any sense because when you first got there, you were saying you don't have access to like any of your... You need money because you're homeless. You didn't try to get back to Colorado until after I made my video. And all of a sudden, boom, he was back to Colorado. Like, you understand what I'm saying? They made the video, and I made that video and posted the accounts to try to actually speed up the process with the financials to come back to Colorado. I actually made $100 on one video. I was also sick when I made the video. About this video saying that I haven't heard from the team in a couple days, I was also sick. I could say one thing, the hotel was nice. Yes, I have access. He was in a bathroom. Yes, I have access to the Daniel and Grace Cash App. Grace Vanderwall and I own the Cash App, and we share 50-50. This is the most important thing that I read so far. What Daniel is saying, I'm assuming it's either Daniel or his managers. What he's saying is that he has a Cash App and 50% of it goes to Grace Vanderwall. Give me more. How is this not evidence that he does not have full control over his shit? Grace Vanderwall doesn't know who you are, Daniel. It's time to wake up, bud. They don't know who you are. And your managers are making you post really creepy videos, humping the floor. So if they do know who you are, they're afraid of you. And their parents probably don't want you to ever interact with them. And that's just the truth of the matter. Somebody needs to take your phone away. Because Grace doesn't get 50% of your fucking Cash App. So that means that what's probably happening is Daniel gets money from Cash App, then sends half of it to Grace, which is one of the managers pretending to be Grace. Holy fuck. It's probably the Flexburgers kid. I was only 40 at night in San Francisco and Oakland, 60 to 70. I don't care about that. I needed $20 to pay for my food because my debit card in my bank account getting hacked. They blocked my debit card. And they said they need somebody used it for San Francisco International Airport. This doesn't make sense to me because when he was at the restaurant, he was eating his food, right? And he was like, oh, I need money, I need money, I need money. When you go to a restaurant like that and you do a sit-down plate, you pay after. You pay after. So he wouldn't have known that his card was blocked until he tried to use it. So this would be the first time he's trying to use it. So he was asking for money because he needed money. I did get dropped on my disability service, which is why I previously moved. Well, you said before that you dropped them. just before in the comments. But like, disability services don't drop you. Fuck, I just screwed myself. Okay, well, that's like a weird thing that I looked at. I know a lot of you guys are tuned. Oh, I gotta go scroll down and find it. News first, yeah. I did get dropped by my disability service. That's not really how it works. You don't just get dropped by a disability service. You'd have to like opt out, I imagine, which is what he said before. But like, if you have an exact like because he had like a whole altercation with one of his caretakers. If you have that interaction, they'll actually put you further into the system. They'll develop like protocols to deal with you when you have an outburst. That's how it works. So I did get dropped by my disability service, which is why I previously moved. I'm planning on getting a house in Hawaii. Like, the fact that he thinks he could get a fucking house in Hawaii. Like, who's feeding him this information? But there is no for sure. I am now back in Denver currently, and I am saving up money to buy a house in Hawaii. Then I will move to Hawaii by this fall, and I will be flying to LA every couple of weeks for auditions. Bro, what? Auditions? Fucking for what? Because his managers are setting up auditions is why. Auditions. Dude, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, they're still manipulating him, so I guess I'm gonna have to move forward with all the information. Like, it's not like these guys act like I don't know who they are. It's incredible to me. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. I used to live in Los Angeles, so I know the difference between LA and Oakland. The police also showed up because I couldn't pay for my meal. I told them about the situation with the debit card and the fact that I got hacked, and now I have to get back to Denver to be able to fix my debit card, which is why I can't play, blah, blah, blah. They paid for my meal, whatever. Alright, so that's what Daniel Larson says. It's fucking ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. Apparently, this is another new account from Daniel Larson. Daniel Larson keeps making all these new accounts. He thinks that they're getting hacked or banned, but they're not getting hacked or banned. They're getting deleted because I'm calling them out.
I want to make this very clear that it was my decision to go to Oakland. It was not the label. It was all my decision. And all the videos, all the accounts, including my Cash App, I have full access to.
We already know by reading the comments that this is not true. He thinks he's giving half of the proceeds to Darcy, or excuse me, Grace Vanderwall, and somebody clearly encouraged him by feeding into his delusion that he actually is like a good singer, that he should go to LA and move there. Now listen, Daniel Larson can make music, and maybe it'll be decent, because he was doing something with like a guitar player. That was nice, but like you're not Hollywood ready there, bud.
Hello everyone, this is Daniel Larson. We are accepting donations.
Daniel Larson, musician.
To my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. Thank you.
It makes a lot of sense that he keeps saying that he's accepting donations, because like his managers are probably like, we want some money, Daniel. We want to buy a new game to fucking play because we're a bunch of loser kids. Okay.
Fortnite is so good.
Okay.
Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Larson. We are accepting donations.
Okay.
Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace.
You see how he says we are accepting donations? Are these pages all reposts? I don't think so.
Hello everyone, this is Daniel Larson. We are accepting donations. Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. We are trying to raise money so we can fix some damages in the house. And also, we currently have a major...
The reason I think this is real because he has the ridiculous haircut.
Roofing...
And he's responding to allegations.
Issue. There is currently on the roof a situation to where we had hail a couple days ago and it leaked all the way through. And so we have to get a new roof. Thank you.
Okay.
Please donate, and we'll have more stuff coming towards you soon.
If you want a summary, you're going to have to go look at the other video I posted at the beginning of this. It's like Daniel Larson's being manipulated to go to LA.
Hello everyone, this is Daniel Larson, and I am proud to announce that I am going to be starting a band called the G Waves, and the members of the band are going to be me, Grace Vanderwall, Jacob Sartorius, and Aries. I will tag everyone in the description. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, it's ridiculous.
All of your support.
Yeah, so some people are saying some of those are re-uploads, but like as we know, this video obviously is somewhat new. It's Daniel Larson's like, oh guys, it's not the manager's fault. It's the manager's fault. This shit's ridiculous. Again, people need to stop fucking around with this dude. It's insane. And he needs to honestly wake up himself and realize that like people are just trolling the fuck out of him because they're not helping. He's not helping his own situation here.